Welcome back, design students. In this video, we're going to create some vases for our interior design scene. The method we're going to use is creating a line that follows a profile of a vase, and then we're going to add a lathe modifier and a shell to it, exactly like we created the wine glass and the wine bottle and the lamp in earlier projects. So let's get started. So the first thing we need is a reference plane or a reference image plane. So let's go to the front viewport by hitting F on our keyboard, and we're going to create a plane. I happen to know that the texture or the image I have is a rectangle going this way. You need to create it about the same dimensions as your specific reference image. And then I'm going to go to the Modify tab and zero out the segments because I don't want to see those lines. And then we're going to go to the shader settings or shading settings and turn on default shading. And then we're going to go to the top view and move it back from the front. And then I'm going to hit F to go back to the front view. And I'm going to hit G to turn off the grid. Next, we need a material that contains the reference image we're going to use. So let's get the material editor and create a physical material. Drag off the base color node, select bitmap, and then find the image that you have downloaded. Mine happens to be in my downloads folder. It really doesn't matter where it is at this point because it's just temporary anyway. See if I can find my downloads folder. There it is. And apply that to your plane. Select the material and kill the reflections. And we can close the material editor. I've put this particular image on your D drive of your computers, along with another one, and I'll also be embedding it in the Canvas assignment that you'll be using. But you could also search Vase, and you would find all sorts of images that you may be able to use that are better or different than this. So all you have to do really here is pick one. Let's see, I'm going to do this one. And this has a little more detail on it that you really can't see because it's such a low-res image. But I'm going to keep it simple. So we're going to go to the plus sign, Create tab, and we're going to select Shapes, and we're going to select Line. And then we're going to click here, and remember, wherever there's a curve, you need to have a point. And down here, I really can't see what's happening here, so I'm going to go out and down. I'm going to hold down Shift so I'll be sure it's straight. Make a straight line, and I'm going to kind of go back to somewhere in the middle, right there, and right-click to finish. And then we go to the Modify tab, get Vertex, and we're going to convert each one of these to our appropriate type of point. I'm going to select this one and make it a Bezier curve and adjust it. We'll do the same with this one. And adjust it. Notice you can make these longer or shorter as well. This one I'm going to make a Bezier curve so that I can get a very tight little curve right there. And I'm going to leave this alone. And I'm going to leave this one alone. All right, so let's go here, and then we're going to apply the lathe modifier. And pick the proper alignment. Notice how it's black. That means I need to check. Always check weld core. I need to flip the normals. Now I'm going to hide. I'm going to select and hide my reference plane. And take a look at this. A couple things here. You can see how the circular area here is a little chunky. You can see these corners right here. I'm going to give it more sides. Smooth that out. And you can also see some chunkiness here. That setting is under Line, and it's down here at the very bottom interpolation. You got to open it up, and you can enter a higher number here. I'm going to go with 20. And you can see how that smoothed that line out. And that made it much smoother. And now all you have to do is put shell modifier on it and adjust the thickness. I like to use inner thickness for most of the time. Doesn't need much. And there you have it, a really nice vase. Now if you wanted handles on it, some of these had handles, if you remember. Like this, for example. Then what we would do is we would come in here and create another line. Maybe something like that. And then all we would have to do is come in and convert these vertices to the appropriate curves and adjust them. And then just check this box and adjust the thickness. And this would need to go a little more into the pot here, just like this. You would adjust this maybe a little bit more by pulling that out. Select my image, exit this mode, select my plane and hide it. And see what we got here. You can see this is just off. It needs to be right there. And you can also, if you want your ends to be a little more rounded, you can come in here and under here you can select quad caps, and you can see what that does. And you would just give it more segments to round it off. And remember also we have that interpolation setting down here. It's already set at 20. And if you turn on edge faces here, you can see that we can add more sides to this as well if we want. Sides, that would be right here. Smooth it off. Now, if I wanted to put one of these on the other side, all I would have to do is mirror it, make a copy, and just move it over to the other side. There are still some things you could do with this to give it some more detail if you convert it to an editable poly, and I would advise you make a copy before you start experimenting in this way. Make a copy of your handle. You could, for instance, grab this edge here and turn on soft selection and adjust the fall off. And if you switch from view coordinates to local, then you can get the scale tool and you could scale this out and sort of make that kind of taper a little bit. You could also scale it out this way, give it a different look. That actually looks pretty cool. But remember, you have to switch from view to local and make sure you switch back when you're done. And you might have to adjust again a little bit here, that doesn't look quite right. But those are some things you can do to make a vase, and I expect you to make at least 2 of these that are different using the profiles that I've provided to you or ones that you found on the internet. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.